Bound by Flame is a game you may not have heard about, but it's been compared to the likes of Dragon Age and The Witcher 2 and stuff like that. Is it worthy of being compared to those games? Let's talk about it. Alright, so I knew nothing about Bound by Flame going into it, but I did know it was developed by Spiders, a developer that has a track record with some games and some games that people kind of really enjoy. So I jumped into it, not knowing what to expect, and I came out kind of enjoying it. While it certainly has its fair share of problems and it feels a little bit like a budget game, there's a lot of fun to be had here for fans of Western RPGs and stuff like that. And while I said in the intro that it is compared to The Witcher 2 and Dragon Age and stuff like that, this is the absolute perfect game to hold you over until The Witcher 3 or Dragon Age Inquisition. In Bound by Flame, you get to create a character who is named Vulcan, and it's really cool because you can be a male or a female, and I couldn't, despite my best efforts, could not make them look any less than like a total douchebag. But the main character is early on in the game imbued with some demon powers, some flame demon powers that allow you to shoot fire, and it's cool. You go on a quest to do stuff, and you see elves, and you fight skeletons, and you go to swamps, and you know. But the combat system is enjoyable. While it has a lot of flaws, it is very enjoyable. You can switch back and forth between a heavy two-handed sword and roguelike stealth dagger weapons, and you can always use your magic on the fly. The good thing about these abilities is that they all have their own separate skill trees that you can level up and add to and upgrade to your liking, and embrace which playstyle a little bit more. Despite that, they are all needed to be used occasionally, but you can focus on a specific set if you'd like. And combat for the most part is good. It feels a little slow, but in a good way. It feels powerful. It feels tangible. Blocking and parrying is there, and it's very important, something like Dark Souls or The Witcher 2, and it's very challenging. Now, part of the challenge comes from the fact that enemies can barely be interrupted in their attack, which sometimes leads to awful effects. In a lot of these types of games, interrupts are important. But despite that, when that's not annoying, the game plays wonderfully. I really, really enjoy the enemy types and the environments and stuff. Everything has just a great tone to it, a good sound to it. The enemies and creatures look awesome, very unique, something that you don't see this day and age. And armor types. Your character has fully customizable armor that all looks really awesome, and it all just embraces a badassness. While there is a lot of backtracking and some of the level design does get you lost a lot with the weird map, overall it's a lot of fun, and exploring and looting and stuff like that is enjoyable. Exploring this world that sometimes feels a little bit generic. The elves are elves. You've seen elves 1,000 times before. A lot of the stuff here you've seen before, and sometimes it doesn't quite get the tone right with weird characters that say fuck and shit and ass, and it just sounds weird. The tonal inconsistencies are kind of weird, but the fact that the main character is gripping with this demon inside him, and you constantly have the player's dialogue and the demon's inner monologue trying to lie to him and convince him and twist him around and stuff is really cool. Also, in a nod to Fable, it's fucking sweet because if you embrace the demon and you do bad things and you be an asshole, you really feel like a jerk in this game. You become, the demon manifests itself in you, and that's really cool. I love games where you can choose light and dark and it actually affects your outward appearance. Well, other than that, it's not the most tangible thing. Like, people don't really react to it that much. Despite that, it's cool. And there's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot of side quests. There's a lot of things to explore. There's a lot of things to kill. While a lot of it is done up in boring, long dialogue that some of it I don't really care about, but some of you who are into world building, there's plenty for you to delve into, but some of it really bored me. But there is a lot to do. This is a lot of stuff for a $40 game, and that's why I think maybe it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of Fable, The Witcher 2, Dragon Age, like I keep saying. Western RPGs, definitely check this game out. Go into it knowing that it does have a lot of issues, but at the end of the day, it can satisfy that action RPG itch for you. But guys, that's what I think about Bound by Flame. Let me know what you guys think if you've been playing it. Have you played it? Are you into it? And if not, if you saw my review, are you into checking it out? Are you curious? I think Fable fans might actually find a bit to enjoy here. Let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments below. And as always, guys, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.